So this stems from this this conversation that we had off air about, you know, money. I want to share a story with you guys. I won't be naming anyone, but this is something that happened to my dad and my uncle, and I apologize. I apologize, Dad and Amjad, that I won't be doing much justice to this story. So this guy that they know won the lotto. So he's won a few $1 million, boys, and you know, everyone starts hearing about this, obviously, and this guy comes to visit my dad and my uncle at work, and they start bringing up the conversation. Oh, mate, congratulations, you won the lotto, you know, like, you're living a good life now, blah, blah, and this guy's like, look, mate, you're right, I should take you out for lunch. Let's go. I'm going to take you right now. We're going to go buy lunch. And obviously, Dad's working and whatnot, and he's like, we can't really, like, just close up shop and go buy lunch, you know what I mean? He's like, nah, mate, let's go. I'm buying you guys lunch, blah, blah. So they jump into his car. They go for a drive. This guy pulls over at a servo, and he's like, come out. Takes him inside, and he's like, choose whichever sandwich you want. Mind you, this guy's won millions of dollars, right? He's like, choose whichever sandwich you want. And my dad and uncle are like, is this the lunch we're going to be getting? So my uncle is like, can I get a drink with it? And this guy's like, yeah, all right. Like, his soul was just, it was burnt because he had to spend an extra few dollars to get this guy a drink. But where I want to lead this conversation is to some experiences we had growing up. Like, we hung out at shisha lounges mainly between the ages of, 18 and 22. And I remember a few times we were there with like 10, 15 guys. We'd merge the tables together and ask if we can have that table. And at the end of the night, it would really piss me off that one of the boys had got up while we were all in conversation and busy and paid the whole bill. And, you know, these bills were like, you know, a couple of $100 each. We were all like working part-time. Most of us were working part-time jobs. But what it illustrates is the difference. And I don't mean any racism in this. It's just it's experiences that I've had. So I'm touching on my own personal experiences. There probably are, you know, people on vice versa side who are not like this or the other way around. Being in a friendship that was widely wog, you wanted to be the guy who paid for everything. You know, it wasn't because it was a flex or whatever. It's just you went in, you paid for it. I still do it to this day. So if we go out as a couple with my wife and, you know, someone and their partner, I'll go and try and pay the bill without, you know, them noticing or whatnot. But when I've gone out with other people, like friends from uni, friends from work, bro, the thing that irritates me the most is you got one bill, obviously, for your table. These people are counting 30 cents and 60 cents. They're like, oh, I bought a steak. It's $15, and my drink was $3.30, so $8.80. Is there $1.20 change there? Like, really, bro? Like, you know what it's like being, you know, in our French circle. It's like, oh, I ate roughly this much, cost about 20, just chuck 50 in there. And at the end of the night, you're fighting over who's keeping the change, really. Can you guys relate to this conversation?
Yeah,
I probably do relate to you. I think for us more, it's, you just sort of put a rough estimate and then round up. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, bro,
it's like steak, 30, drink $8, $38, here's a 50.
Yeah, straight up.
I feel like
and how rough is the rounding up? You're not even thinking 40, you're like 50.
Because I'm standard. If I go to dinner with the boys, I try to keep within the $50. But it's just to make it easier. So it's like you said, a steak is what, $30, $40, plus a drink. Like, we have only Coke. I don't drink alcohol or anything. Well, not anymore. And
it's usually,
$50. Like, say all up $40. Guys, $10 is for the tip. You know what I mean? I mean, we used to fight over the change, but now we just usually, we just give it to the tip guy or whatever.
Back then, we try to get it as close as possible. It's like, oh, you know, say you went to say you had like an $18 burger and a $5 drink. It's like, oh, it's $22. Yeah, he's $25 instead. I'll give you $3 more. Now it's just like, bro, that $12 that I need to spend calculating is not worth my time and trouble anymore.
Oh, definitely, bro. Imagine sitting at like a communal table and trying to get your $1.20 change back because you know it was like $38.50 or whatever it was.
I feel good when I
Ali, don't hit me. I didn't do the maths. I just threw the numbers out there. But
I feel good when I say keep the change.
Yeah,
you know
same.
I mean? It's a G up, straight up. Like when you go, keep the change. It's like, oh, no, but here, take your change. And then you're fighting there. Like, nah, I'm walking away. See you later.
Bro, it comes down to this. My father-in-law owns a little kiosk in a park, and he mainly serves kids. He has like lollies, ice cream, and the kids at the park come in. We are a good family. So kids come in, and we had this one kid, I was helping him out one day that was like really busy. So I think he bought like an ice cream for $1.50, and he gave me a $2 coin. He's like, keep the change, yeah? I was like, nah, man, like, take the change. Open the counter, I gave him his 50 cents back. He walks out. The guy forgot his ice block there, bro. He's like, he just gave me $1.50. I'm like, hey, man, do you want your ice cream? And he's like, oh, yeah. Comes back and he's like trying to be all like a SK because he wants me to keep the change. And he forgot to take his ice cream.
How young was he?
Probably like 10 years old.
Because maybe it was a movie moment for him.
Keep the change, man.
Keep the change, man. Yeah, he saw it in the movie. Because like a lot of the shit I've done in life is through movies. Like all the examples I've seen. Because think about it. What do we laugh at? We laugh at serious action movies or like crime movies, and we laugh at how they say things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we don't take that shit.
Wash them yourself, man.
So maybe he had a movie moment, you know?
Maybe.
I want to go to a dry cleaners. Wash them yourself, man. And then they're like, that's what we do here. Right. Nah, look, I definitely agree with you. Like, it's. You know what's funny about, like, when you go to Turkey, like, for us, when we went to Turkey, that, like, when you take the taxi ride, like, because the Australian dollar is a lot better in Turkey, like, you're more than happy to give them, like, $30
about
equivalent
5 times
their money, which is, like, $6 for ours. Yeah. You feel like you've just supported, like, a kid for, like, 4 months. Like, it's a completely different ballgame, but...
Because lately I've been not caring with my money, but...
Money for everyone.
Like even my wife, she gives it to me. I won't say too generous, but I'm not responsible with my money. Does that make sense? Like if I go out, bro, you know, I buy whatever anyone wants. Like if I go with boys or if I go out with my missus will be always coming. That's like, no, why? Like, no, we don't need to spend that. We're trying to save, blah blah blah. She's like, no, we don't need to eat that, or we don't need to go to that restaurant, or we don't need to this, or we can stay at home
today.
Yeah, no, or we can eat the leftovers. But
capitalism, bro.
I don't know. Like coming back to Emin's point in regards to, I don't know, what would you say, nationalities? I think as WOG, it has a not. It's culture.
Turks,
has a lot to do with culture.
It's culture. Like
it's that hospitality. Like you go to a WOG's house and the first thing they're doing is offering you food or a drink. Like when we go to do, I'm an electrician. We go to do like a light fitting in a WOG's house. We get asked if we're gonna get food, if we're hungry, if we need a drink. Like we did a house with one of my electrician friends. They fed us the whole time we were there, breakfast, lunch, and dinner while we're doing the job. You know, whereas like other customers, you ask them for a glass of water. Like during Ramadan when I was fasting, asked for a glass of water and he was just looking at me like, "What the hell?" You know what I mean?
How dare he?
Keep the glass.
How dare you?
No, yeah, it probably does fall down to your cultures, man. Like, I feel like
But I don't know, like when I was in public school, so I would have been like around 10, 9. I had an Aussie friend. Shout out to him, Stephen Bullman. Guys, I used to sleep over his house, so like I got looked after. I don't know, like maybe he was the one exception. I don't know, but I've with the people I've worked with. Like for instance, an example, I bought a box of donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts, and I think because these people within their culture, I'm not even going to go into what they were, the Aussies.
Wow, bro, not naming anyone.
They insisted that they pay me for the box, even though like I gave it to them as a gift because at the start when I liked them before that ugly. I would just think, I would tend to bring stuff. Like I was at a survey and I just buy a box of donuts. Fucking here, you guys have some donuts, and they'd be like, "Oh, here's $5 for those donuts you bought us." I'm like, bro, that was from me. Like I didn't ask for any money. Like it's almost comes off rude, in a sense where it's like, bro, I brought you a gift. I didn't ask for money, and like now you're throwing money in my face. Like am I some peasant or something that I can't afford to buy donuts for you guys or some shit? I don't know. Like I found that fucking rude.
I like how your pride just kicks in there.
Yeah, well,
you fucking think that I can't afford donuts, you dickhead. I can afford donuts. Everyone gets donuts now.
I don't know, but I just found that weird. Like, bro, if someone brought me donuts, I'd be like, all right, I just think that he brought donuts for us to share. You know what I mean? Whereas those guys, they insisted that they had to pay for it. Like, it's like, no, like one thing
maybe they're not used to gifts.
Maybe they don't want me to buy them gifts, you know?
No, but it's very cultural, bro. Like, think of it like when you go visit your friends as a Turkish person, right? There's that old Turkish saying, like, don't go with empty hands. You know what I mean? You buy something on the way or you make something at home as like, hey, we're coming to your house. We're going to eat the food, but here's a little bit, you know, so that we can eat together, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I know Inan's big on this. Inan's never come to my house without bringing something, so it's
That's-
not
I
gone
learned that from my
unnoticed, you
parents.
know. But culturally,
thank
you're
you.
taught that you go in when you're going to someone's house, you take something with you as like an offering. Hey, let's go and eat
I
this
don't know.
together.
See, you think of that, it's a humble. I don't know. It's a nice thing. Like it shows your affection through friendship. You know, saying, "Look, I like you," or I don't know how. You know, I like your companion or your friendship. You know, let's enjoy this, whatever this is. I mean, you know, like have this as a present. This is, you know, it's just a warm feeling.
Yeah.
In essence.
Alright, so I'll ask you a question. Say you take something to someone else's house, like say a cake or sweets.
Do I expect to eat it? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
If they don't serve it back to you,
Yeah.
how would you feel?
I'm
I get-
always
I
like
get a
that to
bit
my
cut.
missus. No, I'm like, I've always whispered. I'm like, fuck, are they gonna bring this cake out?
I swear to God, bro, we've gone to some people's houses and we bring something with us, and it's like at the end of the night we didn't get it, and I'm like, I really wanted it, man. I'm like,
No, I don't think any of the people that I've brought, or like my missus usually does all that shopping stuff, so thank God for her. But like I don't think any of the people that I've gone to, so hats off to them. They've always fed us whatever we brought. Obviously, you know what I mean. So I don't know. Maybe you've had people that haven't given it to you.
yeah, a few
Oh,
times,
seriously?
bro. How
I'm gonna
about
save this for later.
how about the night that I asked for my wife's hand, right? Inan came along with me, and they're handing out chocolates to all the guests, and they handed it out to everyone, bro. Obviously, I'm the most awkward night of my life, right? I'm sitting there, you know, with my future father-in-law, trying to be this good guy, and I just see Inan and my uncle giggling in the corner, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "They missed us, bro. We didn't get the chocolate." They were so cut about it, and they
I was
brought out
cut.
the chocolate and
This
gave
is
it to
proper
them.
chocolate, by the way. Like this is 100% cocoa.
They don't exist anymore,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they closed up. Yeah, they went to Perth. Turkish Delight. I think it was a Turkish Delight in Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that like that guy made it, bro. He had his
I'm
Turkish
sure
Delight
he's
sold
importing
in
those
Maya.
chocolates from
Yeah,
Perth.
bro. It was in Maya and David
Oh, no
Jones.
way, I
And
didn't
yeah,
know
like
that.
so he got into big, you know, department stores with his stuff.
Oh, good on him. Well, he was quality, man, in Auburn. Straight out of Auburn.
So if you go to Inan or Emin's house, expect food.
Bro, that's a big... Someone... I don't have guests over because it's such a... Fuck, I'm going to sound so rude.
There's a massive preparation involved.
Yeah, bro. Like, fuck. The
You-
preparation involved, like, bro, I've got to have this, like, because there's so many levels. Like, you can't have the table, like, empty. You've got to pretty much make this person a king in your own home.
Yeah.
I think that comes down to culture, ultimately. I mean, my dad used to preach that to me a lot. You know, anyone that would come to our house when I used to live with my parents, it was, bro, like, my mother would be doing all this, by the way, not my dad. He'd just be sitting there and entertaining whoever the hell was over. You know what I mean? But I think I always enjoyed that. I think...
Just imagine your dad dancing.
Is there tea?
Oh, do you like your dessert?
Babe, it's been 4 hours. My arms fucking hurt. Can you hurry up and get outside, please?
Talk about getting outside. And I have to agree with you. Look, I love having guests over. Babe, you're an amazing person. But when there's people coming over and you
Suck
stress out, it's like... Bro, it's almost unbearable. Should be like on edge all day. It's like, oh, I still haven't done this, and I
I'm
still
like
gotta
that
make
too,
that,
yeah.
and I still gotta do this, and I can't even. I'm like, relax, bro. It's 8:30 in the morning, and they're coming at like 7 p.m. You still have all this
It's
time.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
But like, bro, let's go to Turkish visiting, right? For those people who don't know, I want to ask you guys in your personal households or in the households that you grew up in, when people came over, was there an order of things that you served?
Yeah.
So let's
Oh,
see
we
how.
wanna go
how
into this?
yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. So what's the order of what was served?
Depends what they're there for.
Okay.
All right, so a
Do
typical...
you know what I mean? Like if they're there for during the day or if they come for dinner.
See,
Like,
we
look,
we didn't have many
can
day
I- can I-
visitors, to be honest.
Yeah, like dinner guests?
No,
Let-
not
let-
dinner guests. We call it chai, like for tea. Like,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
like after dinner.
dinner.
So
After
any
dinner,
time
okay.
around 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7:30,
Yeah.
around that time.
First, let's start off. What is the appropriate time to get to that person's house?
Around
For tea,
Yeah.
probably 7:30, I reckon.
6:30 to 7. 6:30 to 7:30.
For
That
us,
within that time frame.
For our family, it always goes off daylight saving. You go after the
After
sun
it
goes
just
down.
goes down,
right?
yeah.
So like you pray, if you're Muslim, you pray your Maghrib and then you go. So in winter, it's a lot earlier visiting times than it is in summer. In summer, you're going to sit there like 8 o'clock. All right, now we can go sort of thing. But yeah, generally between 6 and 7:30, right?
Yeah.
So what is the order that you guys serve things?
Usually far. But usually it's just like my wife, she brings out a plate of food and some sweets or whatever she's made or whatever she's bought with a cup of tea, a little small tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually it's, does anyone want tea? 'Cause some people don't like tea. They like coffee. They want to be difficult. And then you're just like, fuck.
That's why it's such a bother, because I can't sit down and go, you know what, this is it. Fucking enjoy this. That's all you're getting.
Like,
and I'm going to sit
tea.
there.
Because you have water? Tea?
Nah,
or
bro.
tea.
I'm ending up
No,
opening
the tea refilling, bro. Like,
Yeah,
because
bro.
Turks don't drink one glass.
Oh, look, for us men, that tea refilling doesn't mean shit.
Oh, I do it.
I do it.
But
do
no,
it.
like, as in, like, the pressure is sort of off. You do it because you can. Like, from a,
Yeah,
from
I
a,
agree.
From
Yeah,
a
I know where
woman's
you're going.
perspective, like, the moment it's like,
This tea is
she's got
shit.
to run
No, to the point where
You know what I
my missus doesn't even drink tea or eat. She's just too busy.
Just serve.
Yeah, serving.
Yeah.
things.
Depending on how many people
Which is
are
like, bro,
over,
don't
yeah.
get me wrong. I enjoy, like, I'm sounding like I don't like. I genuinely enjoy entertaining people. Obviously, with certain people, you know, some people it's awkward. There's also that too. Like,
Yeah, the
especially
awkward people
right
I
after
call
I'm
in
married.
to hang with me.
I know, so shit. Anyways, but yeah, like when I got married, we had to meet all these my wife's mates couples. So it's like I had to get to know these blokes. The majority of them were alright. Like I still talk to them till this day. I just don't see them often. Like I think the difference with us was we got to do it constantly when we were younger, because obviously the speed of what technology moves now, everyone's so close to one another that we don't visit one another like we used to. You know what I mean? But I remember my dad would have to sit on the couch and he'd get his home phone out and he'd ring one of our family friends just to say, look, if you guys are available, can we come over on a Saturday night or Friday night just to see how you guys are? So we'd go, I don't know, I'm playing PlayStation with whoever's house we went to or whatever.
If they had one.
If they had one, or the toys.
Is that a two-player game?
Or it's not only that, it's like, I hate going there because there's no boys.
Yeah, see, like, I completely agree. Like, that was the issue. Like, I think our kids or my kids are missing out. I try to get my kids to visit people every Saturday now. Like, especially after Ramadan, like, obviously I was busy being spiritual in that. And now, like, I feel like this, like, I go to my missus, who haven't we seen in a long time? Let's just go visit them.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, I want to sit at home. I just want to relax at home after working 5 days. I don't want to go to anyone's house. You know what I mean? So then, like, now I'm stuck with the burden of, do I get up and go to these people's house and make an attempt to be social, or do I just sit in my dress gown or my fucking my robe and be comfortable in my own house? You know what I mean?
Put this as a quote on a meme somewhere. Visiting people is like going to the gym. Until you get there, you
Yeah.
whinge about it. When you come back, you never like, oh man,
Yeah,
we
you
shouldn't have
forget
gone
how-
and visited. Like, most of the time that I go and visit people, I'm like, man, it was really good
Yeah,
catching
it
up
was.
with them. Like,
Because it's just the effort to do it.
to
So it's
go
like,
and get it.
yeah,
And especially if you planned it the
To
week
commit,
before,
yeah.
your wife's like, hey babe, Saturday, do you want to go to these people's house? Like, yeah, let's do it. Like,
forgotten
I miss them,
about the whole week
Yeah.
until Saturday morning. Oh yes, what am I gonna do this Saturday?
And it's like, fuck, man, I have so much to do. Like, why did we plan this? And why do I do this to myself?
Because the whole day I'm kicking and screaming. I'm just going, fuck. I go, bro, stop. Stop going to people's houses. I don't want to go. Are you laughing because you agree? Bro, like,
that reality check is the worst, yeah, I know.
but like, cause I'm happy after it. I'm like, bro, it was actually good. I got to see a friend. I got to speak about something else. It's not like the standard we always talk about. It's either sports, or whatever else we talk about. Like, it's all.
Look, if the guy's house I go to isn't talking about the stuff I normally talk about, then you're fucking
But
boring.
it's something different, of course. Yeah, like it gets awkward. That's what I mean by the awkwardness. Like you talk with the guy, you only know him because his wife is mates with your wife, and that you have to speak to him because she's got to come.
Conversation's bad when they ask you how's work twice in one night.
Ah, yes, I know. Have you had those?
So how's work, bro?
How's work? And then work's going
Yeah.
good, huh?
Yeah, I could talk for hours.
Because
Like,
it's like in Turkish, it's like, so how are you? So how are you further? So how are you further? Like,
I do that.
question
You know what I
gets
do a
asked.
lot? When someone asks me, how are you? I say, good, thank you. How are you? And then he says, good, thank you. How are you? So then it's just the cycle of, I'll shut the fuck up now. I won't say, I'm good. That's it.
So
Man.
how you been?
I do that a lot. It's like, oh, good, thanks. How are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you?
But I've seen a few people do that. A few friends, when they're trying to pick up girls, they're like, hey, how are you? They're like, yeah, good man, how are you? Yeah, good man, how are you? And you're like, you just stand there like
Oh,
a
bro.
stunned mullet.
Going back to the whole thing, so I can give my thingy. So in our family, it was always you came in, tea would be delivered to you pretty quickly with
bro.
food. Like if they brought
follows you
food with them,
Are you gonna take this tea?
as you walk through the door, like you get your tea. If they brought in food, you serve that with the food that you've made. Usually we go something savory, something sweet, and something, you know, like out of the ordinary, like biscuits or, you know, like
Bro, I say
something that you made.
at that point in time, I think you skip the savory stuff. Honestly, like
Burek,
because
but when you go misafri.
yeah, but like half the time, oh bro, we ate before we came.
Yeah, that's the thing too. But with people you're close with, like I'll say to my wife, let's
Yeah.
eat small because they always pack the plate. Like, and in our culture, once again, it's rude if you don't eat it, right?
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
But yeah, so we usually do something sweet, something savory, something like my missus will cook up like cookies or like there'll be kurabi or something there, you know, or like kısır.
Kısır is
Like salady
standard.
sort of things. Like you can do like, you know, the pasta salads,
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
those things, or
Yeah,
like,
it's just something of like, you know, be comfortable in my house. You
that's
know?
right. After the
Take a
tea
shit
is
in
served
mine.
and there's like 40 servings of tea, it usually moves on to fruit. And in a
Yeah.
Turkish household, it's like watermelon.
No,
right?
no. You skip one. Usually you get a bit of dry goods. Where it's
Oh
like,
yes, so
like
you know
nuts.
your nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
bird
with
seeds.
after your
Not
food
bird
goes,
seeds.
the nuts come in.
Well, what's
You're
what's
right.
the seeds? That's not. Oh, birds do
Sunflower
eat it.
seeds.
Birds, sunflower seeds. Yeah.
Sunflower
Everyone's
seeds.
just
Bird
like-
seeds.
Everyone's walking through the living room.
Yeah, so you're right. The nuts come out, and then by the time the nuts are finished, you should be done with your tea. All right, it's time to pack up the tea. The fruit comes out. You don't eat fruit while you drink tea. I don't know. Do you guys have that?
I keep drinking
You
tea
don't
until
eat fruit while
until
you
my
drink
bladder
tea.
Yeah, so
Nah,
the
I'll
tea
eat-
goes away when the fruit comes usually.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
But like if you have that one slow, you know, uncle who's still going, he'll have it. He won't even finish it because once he's had the watermelon, he doesn't want it. Fruit comes out. After the fruit, the coffee comes out, and the coffee is pretty much now fuck off home. Like you've had everything, the coffee's come out, like you need to
fridge
go
is
home
empty.
now.
Yeah. Coffee is the signal, man. It's like, all right, dude, I'm doing this now, so you can go.
All right. What time is the appropriate time to leave?
Oh fuck the
Depends.
yeah.
Depends how close you are with that person.
Non-family.
Inan has sat at my house till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I've sat at Inan's house till pretty late.
Yeah, pretty late.
Okay.
So like that's different. Me and Emin have grown up together. Like I've known him a
besides
long time.
this common group.
10, 9:30, 10.
Because it's
But
harder with
again, it
kids now
depends,
too.
bro,
Yeah, bro,
yeah.
with kids, cuz
Depends.
bro, I wanna get like brother, get me out. No, like
We're going
honestly,
into this, bro.
actually, you
Hold
know,
again.
I won't go into whose barbecue we were at because we went to the barbecue and as soon as we ate, bro, I was ready to leave. Straight out. I was like to my missus, I go, when you're good, let's go. But I enjoyed the conversation that I had with the gentleman I was with. So like there and there, like it's only a matter of that. When I was younger, I would have stayed there till they kicked me out because I had nothing else better to do. Bro, I don't have enough time to do the shit that I want to do. So it's like you're taking Apex time, you're taking time out of my kids, spending time with my kids, you're taking time spending time with my wife, you know. And then like there's others, like there's like my mother, my in-laws, my sister, my brother. You know what I mean? Those are all people I want to think, you know, sit down and do something with. I don't, but I can't. I don't have the time.
Yeah, look, I don't want to, you know, offend Inan in any way here either, but the group that we sort of do the visiting now, everyone's got kids. So the beauty of it is the kids socialize and they're running amok outside. And one of the kids, you know, bro, this kid's got every toy under the sun. He's got like 50 motorbikes in his backyard that they all drive around in and stuff like that. But what happens is the adults, we want to keep talking because we're having a good time. And I don't mean any offense by
Too
this,
busy
Inan.
screaming at
The
the
kids get to a point where they're too tired and they all just become whingy or
Yeah,
they're just
bro.
like yelling or like, and it's like, okay, it's time to
Are
go.
you pointing my kid out?
No, not your kid out in
You
person.
fool
I'm
are.
talking about all
I'm
the kids
joking,
in
cuz.
general.
No, I'm
But they get all whingy and tired. So, and
Yeah,
I'm going to
cuz.
experience
Oh
that as
my
well. It's going to
God.
get to a point where it's like, all right, my daughter's becoming too much of a whingy person. We got to leave now. It's time for a
Actually,
bedtime.
you know what? My wife told me she was proud of me yesterday. Which
That's
is
odd.
I don't get told that a lot. But I'll go into why she said that. My son, you know, as you mentioned before, this is why this story's coming up. Kids when they're tired, I don't understand this concept. When kids are tired, they
What?
get whingy.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up and sleep. You know what I mean? Like, why do you got to go exert that extra energy to cry and let us know that you're miserable?
I asked the same question today. to my
I'm like,
missus.
bro, it doesn't make sense. So usually I shit my I lose my shit, And then it's like, bro, I'm screaming to the point where everyone's just crying now. My other son's crying. Sedef's, like my missus is
crying. My neighbour's crying.
No, Sedef's
You
like,
know what it
calm
reminds
down.
me of? You know that video how that guy walks in the backyard and just slaps everyone? That's
no,
what's coming
no,
to my mind.
No. But yeah, my son was tired. He went to preschool, came home. He didn't have his nap, so he was just miserable. And like one after the other, put your pajamas on. Nah, he just wasn't listening. He wasn't in the mood. He was like, nah, I'm not moving. I'm not gonna go nowhere. And as most parents know, putting a child to bed is very hard. Or not very hard, but it's complicated. So anyways, I got the shits.
Not the hardest
and then
job.
he wouldn't put he wanted to put this t-shirt on. He held the stubbornness to go, look, I'm gonna wear this t-shirt. I don't care what you guys say. This is how like miserable he was. So I'm like, all right, wear it. No worries. Let's just go to bed. Then he started losing his shit. He started crying, for the first time in my life. I had no control. Like, bro, I gave him every threat, no chocolate, no ice cream, no blah, 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 nothing. So I'm like, all right, fuck. So I just picked him up and took him to the bed. And he's still crying. Oh, call mum. Eventually, bro, in my mind, I was like, bro, I'm ready to strangle this child. Like fuck me, dude. He just, like, was, imagine a constant, just the crying. Anyways, my wife could hear me going, like, what's wrong? Like, in my mind, bro, the patience, I don't know where this patience came from. Like, somehow something must have happened with this patience. Anyway, I came in my mind, I was like, bro, he's tired. He's tired. I don't know where that came from, that critical thinking. But he finally went to sleep. No, I said, what do you want me to do? I just kept asking questions. Do you want water? Do you need to pee? Do you need to do this? Or do you want to, is it cold? What do you want to do? He's like, do you want me to lie down with you? He shut up. As soon as I said, he goes, yeah. Because instant, he was just like, crying. And he just shut up. He's like, yeah, come. Turned around because he was out like that. I lied down on the bed. I was like, all right, we're good. Put the blanket over him. He was out. I was like, is this it? I was like, oh, you fuck.
I was asking the same question today. Like, kids do it. My daughter's 9 weeks old. She gets tired. Like, just go to sleep. Because if I was tired to that point, right? Think of me in my I'm not saying that I'm the happiest person. I'm going to be grouchy, right? But if someone was telling me to do something, I don't have the energy to, like, go against it.
Kids,
You know what I mean? It's just like,
God.
just leave me alone. I just want to sleep. Like, whatever it's going to take me to get in that bed and sleep, I'm going to do
It's
it.
like they boot up a reserve of energy and go, you know what, I've got more in the tank, let's go. I love him. I love my child, my son. But yeah, it was like a highlighted moment because I was like, I held my shit together. I didn't lose it. And I achieved something, I realized there was a communication barrier between me and my son. He must have obviously been so miserable he couldn't communicate the fact that he didn't want to go to sleep by himself. You know what I mean? And I don't think he could tell me, or he knew to tell me that, just come sleep with me. And maybe he's achieved this. I don't know. I hope he's asleep by the time I get home tonight, but we'll find out. Anyways.
Your missus
But,
right
yeah,
now
it
is
was like
trying to change his shirt. Bro.
Oh, man. He's already he's back chatting, man. That's not cool. Because it's like, all right, because he says something and it's like, all right, you got me there. What do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I've already got to think about what I've got to argue with this kid now.
So much cultural differences.
Yeah.
Speaking of cultural differences, I came across a funny story today, actually. You guys might have seen this, but I came across this as like,
I got a feeling
what
you
the
did.
fuck? Like, this is just too funny. Too funny, but it's so... like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's in the media, and the media doesn't lie to us.
No, they're full reliable.
Yeah.
So in India...
Complete trust.
All right. I'm not going to read the headlines. I'm just going to explain the story based on how I read it. So in India, there was a wedding. I guess he had a bride and groom, obviously, as per normal. All right. The bride had a heart attack and died. Okay. So sad story, right?
Like on the wedding night?
At the
actual ceremony.
At the actual
The reception.
ceremony, she
Okay.
had a heart attack. She died.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm laughing because I know
Because
the
I'm
end of
already
the
laughing.
story. So the normal people, okay, you'd be sad, right? What these guys did, her family did, was they said, we'll still proceed with the ceremony.
My God. Do you reckon they were like, we can't back out of this?
What,
We
so they
gotta-
pretended she wasn't dead? I'm
No.
not getting
Rain,
this.
hail,
Okay.
shine.
No,
we
no,
got
no.
Everyone
to-
knows she's dead?
But she died on the spot. Everyone knows she's dead.
Okay.
They said to proceed with the ceremony, the groom will marry her sister, the deceased sister, at the ceremony. So what they did, But they got married at the ceremony. They put the deceased in another room and celebrated the wedding.
Cuz, would you read this on Daily Mail or
No,
something?
it was on news.com.au. Look, I'm not bullshit. I'll link it.
What
The
religion?
This is Indians.
So is it Hindu?
So it said Indian. I don't think it said the thing. So the doctor came to the scene. Her name was Surpi, and she was declared dead. Okay, so but
I love how you read that so Turkish.
Surpi. And then they said that as an alternative they'll replace it with the sister.
Bro, you
And
know
then-
what?
What was there like on the first wife? There was a fucking money back guarantee. Like
Yeah, like, fuck,
you know
bro,
what
the
I mean?
terms
Like,
and conditions on this marriage, bro, is excellent. Right on point, yeah.
it's like we're gonna give you an exchange, like on the spot exchange, no questions
Because
asked.
the first one was faulty.
It's like in this contract,
Bro, as sad as this is,
if my daughter dies, we offer you a replacement.
But you know what? Like, I get it. Okay, fair enough. You want your daughter
'Cause
to
I
get
don't
married
get
with
that.
the same guy.
Fuck
Fair
you,
enough.
Lan.
No.
My daughter died.
Fair
I don't give a fuck.
Because it was the woman's side that insisted.
But that's what I'm saying.
what if the groom didn't want it? What was it like? It's Surpi guts, same thing.
I think he just said, "Stuff it, I'm getting a wife."
Do you reckon that there's
She's
probably
younger.
the
it's
groom
a
was
newer
probably
model.
like, "Hey, I came here to marry."
You know,
Tonight I'm fucking. Tonight I'm fucking.
tonight, 2 children, 2 children. But it's and then like at the end, I was reading the last part. It took me a while to get to the end because I was just like in awe of shock and disbelief at the same time. And the woman was like, the mother, of the deceased was like, it was odd because it's a celebration and also mourning. And I'm like, no fucking shit here.
So it's 5 minutes of clapping and 5 minutes of
Dude, but
silence.
it's more odd. Like if you like, I'm explaining it. Yeah, it has no how do you say it? Like it's got no effect on how this took place in real life. Like imagine your child passes away at
That's
the
what I'm
wedding.
saying.
You pick them
That's
up.
what's so funny.
you
Put 'em in
just
a room.
Put 'em in a room.
Alright, I'll come back. I'll be
Wait right here. I'll be right back. Like it's like, and then you go celebrate your daughter. Like it's like after all that, but it's like they've pissed off to their honeymoon, and now you got to pick up your other child and then bury them.
Yeah, did the new bride and groom come to the funeral of the daughter who
Probably
passed
not.
away?
They probably went to the honeymoon. Like you
Wow,
said,
that's
I'm
random, man.
fucking.
Yeah, I just found that. I found that article, news.com,
Yeah, I
guys.
told you. See,
Just Google
I'll put the link down
Indian
there
dead.
hopefully, so you can have a bit of a giggle and a read.
Because look, I'm not gonna say that that's cultural. I'm gonna say that this just one weird family, bro. Like I don't know
Yeah.
anyone who would do this.
Yeah, that's true.
The reason why I said cultural is because there would have to be something that's there for them to make a decision like that.
Yeah, look, if you're
That's
Indian
what I
and you're
mean.
watching this,
The
please
groom was
tell us if there
100%
is.
going, I came here for a wife.
But usually in Indian weddings, the female has more power.
No, it's the other way.
Why? The female pays for everything.
That's right.
But don't Indian weddings go
Oh,
for 6 days? So
the
did she
female
stay?
pays
in
for
No, because the
everything.
way they look at it is where we want that groom. So it's like in Turkish, it's opposite. The woman is treated like gold, whereas the guy's got to work his ass off for it. Whereas, if I'm not mistaken, Indian is the girl has to pay for the guy and everything because I think.
But isn't that more of a power trip?
That's what I'm saying, which is weird because then it's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think they said, "Fuck it, we're not paying again"?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Get a
maybe.
2 for 1 deal
Nah,
here.
bro, because come on. Well, what is your family? Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight
Very
up.
shit
Like, they didn't have the
family.
balls to go, all right, bro, it's off. Like, the fucking girl died. What do you want me to do? Because that daughter there, brother.
It's like anyone willing to step up? Come on, free wedding. Come
I
on,
don't know,
guys.
bro.
Imagine that the other daughter.
Because
the
maybe there
sister.
was, like, some kind of business deal involved where the two dads were like, bro, my son needs a daughter. I like your daughters. Give us a daughter.
Tom, it's like, okay, yeah, we'll give it to you. Maybe let's
Yeah,
marry
yeah,
my
true.
daughter that
I
just
don't know.
died right in front of everyone.
Because like you mentioned before, you even mentioned this article. How trustworthy do we take this story? Like, I don't know. I mean,
They got a photo of the person. Again, I don't know if that's legit
Yeah, they
or
probably
not.
Googled Indian wedding death.
Indian win family. But yeah, man, like it was.
Wow.
As I was reading, I was just like, holy shit! And then it was apparently it was in the Times of India as well. So it's the original stories from an Indian newspaper. So
So look.
So it's been diluted twice.
Consider, you know, the situation of the family. If what Inan's saying is true and they have to pay, the girl side has to pay, they're a poor family, dude, even that doesn't justify it really, but it's like, we're not forking out another one to, you know, let's just
shattering this family.
yeah, let's just use this opportunity to get the second one married. She's 12, but it's fine. Like,
She's 9, he's 58. That's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, eh?
Can you imagine if that happened in our culture?
what do you mean that,
Yeah.
bro?
It happens in the
On the east,
eastern side of
has
Turkey,
it does happen on the east.
where it's all
But
mixed.
same day, like
Yeah,
that,
see.
no chance.
Oh, not something like that, but you see some weird shit like that, like
I'll
fucking
tell you.
old men marrying little girls and shit.
Not from an age perspective. I was talking more of the situation.
remarriage
The
thing?
situation at hand.
I
Like
know, that's very strange. I mean, it's the first time we've heard it in the 31 years I've been alive. So it's very weird. It's very awkward.
Yeah, it is
I don't know.
awkward, man.
Like there's got to be some kind of factor outlying.
What if it didn't work out? Like, imagine she didn't die and they got married, and then 2 years later they realized that this marriage wasn't going anywhere. Does he bring her back to her dad and be like, "I'll try the second daughter"? Like, give me a go of her as well.
No, I didn't like the daughters. Maybe give me a wife. Yeah,
Give me a line.
well, your mother looks fine. I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird story. Like, there's only so much I can believe from that. I mean, right now I'm just laughing at it because
It's so odd.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard to actually believe it. Not gonna lie, but I don't know, man.
It is what it is.
Finding it hard to believe.
What do you guys reckon about Melbourne? Lockdown again. And they come out and they're saying
Melbourne.
Bro, this is another
bunch
thing
of
on the
flops.
media. No, it's the media. It's like, oh, bro, since the start of COVID, what we've been told from media and what we hear, it's like, it doesn't add up. Now,
Thank you very much. I was saying this almost a year ago.
No, I
How
agree
long have we
with
been
you.
recording for? For a while. We
No, but
haven't even
like,
recorded
what
for a
the,
year.
what the media says is just doesn't add up. And now they're spreading this thing. It's like, oh, you know, COVID now jumps
Thank you very
from
much.
stranger
Welcome to my
stranger, blah,
side.
blah, blah.
It's frustrating now because, bro, people are getting sick. People aren't even fucking dying anymore. You know what I mean? Bro, like, they're getting better. What's the, like, the, I don't know, the success of getting better is like 98 or 80%.
the success of getting better.
Like, if you know what I mean. Like,
Your chance of
your chance
Oh,
of getting
chance of recovering.
success.
I'm going, what are you on
success
about?
of getting better.
I'm glad you understood it. Thank you.
I was like,
But I
well,
mean,
I was trying to
Your chance
decide-
of getting better is high, like very high, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I'm not going to put a straight number from 80 to 100%.
In Australia, I think it's even higher than that.
Exactly.
Depends on the cases because they said, what do they have, 60 now? So, what, 70 cases? This falls down to... Now, again, this is probably my question to you guys. Do you think this is a state problem or do you think this is a federal problem?
State problem.
Bro,
Melbourne, what do you expect?
I'm going to say it's a federal one. You know why? I don't follow the politics very well. I think Australian politics bores the hell out of me. But they were up in Parliament this week yelling and screaming at each other about how low of a percentage of people have received the jab and how many
Yeah.
people are supposed to get it. And
Is
blah,
this something
blah,
we
like,
should be concerned about?
What do you mean? The number of people getting the jab?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing was we're manufacturing this vaccine in Australia, right? We're making
No,
it here.
we're
aren't
buying
we?
it from
Are
overseas.
we buying it overseas? But so many percent was promised to so many elders and, you know, frontline workers and blah, blah, blah. And that promise hasn't been delivered. So I think that the state government is just trying to throw the blame on the you know,
A bit of a...
and they're like, look, all these people are supposed to get jabbed and you haven't got them jabbed and blah, blah, blah. So what's going on?
So there's so many possibilities.
Well, the issue all falls down to, it's like, okay, yes, the frontline workers were probably going to get the vaccine, but I think they thought that once we have them, people will be lining up for it. Does that make sense? Like, as in the frontline workers.
But
so
no one's lining up.
there is, don't get me, there is
Bro,
people
they
that
had a
line up.
protest last week about compulsory vaccine or something like that.
Mandatory vaccination.
Mandatory vaccination. That's
And I think, if I remember reading it correctly, they've pushed or pushing one of them two. I think they're very close to finalizing it for aged care workers.
yeah, they're actually pushing mandatory.
Yeah, that's actual mandatory. So for me, it's more, if it goes for aged care,
Who's next?
hospitals. Has to be.
Yeah,
Hospital
but like, it's
nursing.
just gonna be
That's what I mean.
everyone mandatory.
It'll be hospitals, nurses, doctors, GPs.
Teachers.
Teachers,
See,
I don't
like
think
we're just
teachers because
slowly-
they're not frontline.
Like I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but we're slowly just giving our rights away. Honestly, that's the honest truth.
Well, in the state of emergency,
Like
you
it
don't have a
starts
right.
like this, because like you can't even protest now. Now you've got to get permission to protest. Does that make sense? If I don't agree with
We've
what
always
the
had
government
that.
is doing, no, not all the time. This only became a thing because it's an issue to public safety. You know what I mean? That you got to get
organise a
police,
process, you need
obviously.
authentication. Always.
but still,
But I know what you're trying to get at.
like I don't know. We're just giving like everything's just slowly, one by one. It's just a domino effect. We're getting to the point where now we're getting to a point where even the government's gonna be telling us what to spend our money on.
Well, that the New South Wales Premier, Gladys,
Berejiklian.
she hasn't even gotten the jab yet, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her choice.
Yeah, that's right. So if politicians are given the choice, then we should be given the choice. It's funny, I was listening to this on the radio during the week. I think it was on like Tuesday or whatever it was. But they keep making reference between our current situation with COVID and some movie called Contagion or something like that. Fatih, you would know about it.
I think on Netflix.
Is it on Contagion? It's called
Yeah,
Contagion or
Lawrence
something like
Netflix.
that. And they're like, the only difference between that and the real world is no one's lining up for jabs. In that movie, once they had the vaccine, it was like everyone was lined up.
I know.
But now
There's just this hidden agenda to push this vaccine, bro. If I don't want this vaccine, I don't want it, bro. Public safety, schmafety.
Look, if someone wants to take the vaccine, go for gold. Okay, that's my thing on it. Just don't push it on people that
Exactly.
don't want it.
See, like I'm not gonna go get angry at people like vegans do when people eat meat. You know what I'm not gonna. You took the vaccine. You're the enemy of the state. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like you're not a part of this.
To vaccinators, you're the enemy of the state. And this is the part
Exactly.
that I don't understand. Is that, why aren't you getting the vaccine? Oh, you're putting our lives at risk. Dickhead, you've been vaccinated, so you're safe. So why are you worried about me passing something on to you? That's the part of the argument that annoys me. It's like when you get the chickenpox thing, right? Because chickenpox used to kill kids, right? It's
Still
actually
does.
it's still it can be more fatal in adulthood actually. So your kid gets a chickenpox vaccination, right? You don't go and ask parents and be like, oh, you didn't get your kid vaccinated, like why not? Now you're gonna give my kid chickenpox. Dude, your kid's gonna get chickenpox. It's just not gonna be as bad and fatal for them, hopefully. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't understand why with COVID it's become you're a vaccinator or an anti-vaccinator. Do whatever the hell you want.
Because I feel like people are under the impression that people that aren't vaccinated or aren't going for the vaccinations that they're delaying freedom, sort of ish. See, and the reason why I find it so bad is you can, and I sort of agree with what Inan's saying here about the push for vaccinations, which is when Qantas comes out, starts giving rewards for people who are getting vaccinated.
Is that happening?
Yeah. But Qantas said that if you're vaccinated, you go that they were offering.
Bro, there was a promoter, concert promoter, I think in London, saying he was promoting a concert, and he said it was a hard rock concert or like a punk concert. He said for people who get the vaccination and they prove it to me, they get like an $80 ticket to this concert.
One was $999.
And he goes, whoever doesn't gets to pay like $2,000 or something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was on the
So
news.
guys, like you've already got dickheads like him, like already trying to push something for the government. So the government's going, oh heck, this guy's doing our job for us.
Inan,
And
put on your tinfoil hat, bro. I want to ask you a question.
It's under the desk. It's under the desk.
Oh, is his thing? No, I want to ask you a question. So obviously,
It's gonna make so much sound. It's under the desk.
Don't do it.
Oh, he's just stubborn. All right, we've got to wait.
All right, put on his tinfoil hat. All right, just a question for you guys. Obviously,
Mike Aluminium.
why a lot of anti-vaccinators are so against the vaccine, right, is that some corporation somewhere in the world is going to be making billions and billions of dollars off this.
Which
right?
is standard.
Which is standard. So we're now in a position where people are not lining up for the jab. There's a lot of anti-vaccinators, which means these corporations are missing out on money. So how much do they, in a conspiracy world, look at it? How much do they start to manipulate data and manipulate what's happening in the world so that people are getting vaccinated so that they make more money off it?
Like,
what do you mean? They're making more money for it?
Because if people aren't lining up for the jab, they're not producing the vaccination.
But can I stress one thing? Is
But
why isn't people lining up? But what's the issue that is stopping people from lining up for this vaccination?
So the issue that I see again, and
There's an easy answer.
I don't speak for everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So AstraZeneca had all those issues. where it was starting to do blood clots, according to the media. What heavily affected in Australia, in my opinion, was when the first reports of blood clots came out. Our health minister pretty much came out and said, we don't based on our research, we don't believe it's connected. And then a week, or I think a couple of days or a week later, they started seeing more cases in Norway and across the world. And then they said, okay, this is causing a bit of an issue, which is why they stopped giving it to a certain age
they
demographic.
Actually stopped, yeah.
And then we sort of switched
They gave to the other one.
Pfizer.
Pfizer, yeah.
We switched to Pfizer. And then
Pfizer.
what the thing about it is, see, with me, I like to read my own shit. I'm a white paper reader, which people aren't familiar with white paper. It's what the company itself releases. And on the paper itself, you can actually go and find it. It's not a conspiracy or anything like that. It says that the only reason why it got pre-approved was that the company itself behind it, which is AstraZeneca or Oxford, if you want to call them, they're under contractual agreement to continuously provide the government with the side effects that come up that they don't know about. So that's the only reason why it's being pre-approved. If you're going off that, we're literally guinea pigs. Yeah. Or the people that are taking it literally, because you don't know what's going to happen in a year's time, or 5 years' time, or 10 years' time. You could have a fourth head.
Exactly.
You know, I've seen TikTok videos where it's like guys walking around with a tail, and his neighbor looks at him and goes, "Pfizer," and he goes, "Yeah." Do you know, like stuff like that? He goes, "No, guys," he goes, "AstraZeneca." He goes, "Luckily, we didn't take the Pfizer," and they switched to another guy who's walking around like a zombie. But like, it's that type of stuff. And I came across another video in this was America, it was, and they were saying along the lines of, I think it was 4,000 people have died relating to to the side effects of the vaccine. They've had 1,000 people who have had heart attacks since taking the vaccine. Yeah. And there's, I think,
ridiculous.
A couple thousand people that went up in the hospital. And then they referred this to the swine flu. He goes back when the swine flu came out, he goes, we released a vaccine for this as well. He goes, 15 people died from this vaccine. He goes, we stopped the vaccine immediately. He goes, we've had 4,000 people die relating to the vaccine. He goes, and we're still pumping the shit out of this.
See, just to come back on Inan's answer of why aren't people taking, I'll give you my personal thing of it, all right? I'm not at risk. COVID is not at risk of killing me. I'm healthy. I'm mid-age, so I don't have any, pre-existing cardiovascular diseases, nor do I have it genetically in my family. I am not at risk. So why do I need to get it? It's like the flu vaccination, right? As teachers, when I was teaching, it's recommended that you get it. I don't get sick very often. I have a really balanced diet. My immune system seems to be keeping up, and I get sick like once a year, right? If that. Sometimes I don't get sick for a few years. So I see no point in me taking a flu vaccination. I don't get sick anyway. With COVID, I am not at risk of it killing me. If I get sick, I get sick. I have the same chance of getting the flu, right? And people are going to say like, oh, you're not at risk, but other people are around you. Bro, you are responsible for your own health. You are responsible for your own, precautions. If you feel like you're at risk, get the jab. Me not getting the jab is not going to affect you, right? But let me just say this. If it does come out and Qantas and all these other companies start to say, look, you can't fly overseas if you don't get the jab, I'm going to get the jab, bro. I'm going to get it because I don't want to be, jailed up in here.
Most people have that view. They're saying that if
you're giving in to the system.
But what
giving into the system, cuz
I think the system
on basis of convenience. That's all it is.
Because I don't want to be. I'm either jailed by the system because I don't want to take the jab, or I'm jailed by the system to take the jab. And I'd rather take the jab and do whatever the fuck I want.
So you've sold out.
Because I have no allegiance to anybody.
But no, I'm not saying in terms of allegiance. You've sold out on your freedom.
No, I'm not selling out on my freedom. I'm not taking I'm not going against the jab because it takes away my freedom. Someone's gonna make money. It's gonna fuck up my health.
Do you think it's gonna stop at just jab? Because like COVID is pretty much in terms of something that stopped the world is like 9/11.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same format, even worse, because now we can't even travel.
Worse than
of course, but that's right. I just said that. Relax, calm down. But because it's one of those things where it's like, all right, we're stuck whether we do or whether we don't. Obviously, no one wants to take the risk now because they're too busy going, oh, we've got 600 people that have copped COVID. Yeah, tell us how many people have died. 2. Guys, I'm pretty sure there's a stupid statistic saying obesity kills more people in the world.
Oh, fucking know if there is.
You know what I mean? Like,
Bro,
if you fucking
suicide
fat
kills
cunts
more.
stopped eating fucking Maccas or started eating a little bit of fucking salad, like, you know, maybe we could avoid all this shit altogether. But I don't know, like, obviously, because I'm in the same boat. I'm not going to lie. I'm just playing devil's advocate. If this prevents me from going overseas, because I'm taking that jab, bro. I'm already 31 years old. I'm ready to die, straight up. I'm not ready to die. I'm not going to lie. But, like, if I got to go, I got to go.
Your mind.
I got to go. But, like, that's the mindset I have. Like, I know it's a bit of a dark mindset, but it's just like, cuz one day eventually I'm going to go. Like, me taking that vaccine, not going to really affect me. Maybe if I die 5 years from side effects, fair enough. But for my kids, it's a different story. They're still starting out. You know what I mean? So it's like, regardless.
I don't think they're jabbing kids anyway.
But when does it start?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Cuz,
another
like,
question, because
because do you think this stops once we get the vaccination?
No.
That's what I mean.
Of course it doesn't. Because you carry a phone in your pocket that is traceable 24/7. You've already lost all your freedom if you think about it.
That's
if you're scared that this jab is going to go to a microchip that's going to be in your shoulder,
not even,
if you see it going that way in a conspiracy theory
what are they
way,
going to do with that microchip? What are they going to use the couple of $1,000s I have in the bank account?
No,
you know what I mean? Like, what are they going to track me?
But imagine you had a microchip on you and a new vaccine came out and you can't even access your money without getting that
that's what I mean.
vaccination.
See, like, that's where the freedom is completely lost. At least with my phone, they don't have access. Oh, fuck me.
They have access to everything.
They fucking do. That's what the burn job is, because I'm already lost. And here I'm sitting here being a
fight for freedom, fight for freedom. And I've got an iPhone in my pocket that has all my personal fucking information.
I don't know. I
in it.
think, obviously, being in the country, we're too comfortable, bro. If I had...
To be fair, look, I know Victorians... I'm not speaking on behalf of you guys, because you guys
suck.
You guys got fucked.
Suck. Flops.
Don't they wash their hands in Victoria? Fuck, they mustn't wash their hands.
Yeah,
do you guys wash your hands in Victoria?
They wash their hands. Nah, look, they've been in probably the worst lockdown than considering us. But from a global perspective, we've had it easy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because we have.
Again, I'm not speaking for the people that obviously they lost their businesses or have suffered dramatically.
Because I've got a better work job. I work 10 times better. Like, if anything, COVID was a blessing in disguise, because I fucked off a job that I didn't like, and I was only working there because it was good money. You know what I mean?
So if you're Inan's ex-employer, he fucking hated you.
Yeah, no, this goes out. I'm not going to mention you guys by name, but you guys know who the fuck yous are. Fuck yous. All of yous.
Yeah, all with your tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, you guys know it starts with a T and ends with an X. So fuck yous.
And it has
right, enough.
And it has Tyrannosaurus Rex in it.
So if you work at TK Maxx, what have you done to Inan?
No, there's only one guy, Chris Reynolds. He's a champion bloke. I'm still yet to see him. But yeah, I'll see you, buddy. I know he watches. Shout out to Chris Reynolds. He's a good friend of mine.
If you don't comment, Chris, you don't really watch.
No, he actually does. He gives a lot of support. I appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Yeah, other than that, the rest... yeah, even the rest. Fuck them all, bro. There's no one I can...
So do you think that... let me start this again. Do you think that if everyone was vaccinated, that's like, okay, yeah, you guys can go overseas?
But because it doesn't stop, because people are still going to get sick.
Wait.
Sorry.
What I'm trying to say is, do you think that if, say what do we have, 24 million people? 24 million people was vaccinated, okay? Do you think that our government would be comfortable for us as people to travel to places who have COVID blasting? Say India, Turkey, for example. Turkey's suffering a bit as well. America still has a lot of cases on a daily basis based on the statistics. Do you think our government would go, okay, you know what, Emin and Inan, you're more than welcome to fly to America. You can come back, no quarantine, no nothing, because you have the vaccine.
No.
So what's the point of taking the vaccine?
Because that's what I was going to say. I don't think they trust their vaccine themselves.
Yeah. Like, even like to the point where it's like, yeah, I get our economies.
What if the government's just playing this game to go, let's see how far we can go with forcing these people to do what we want?
Yeah, but look.
And COVID's just an excuse.
But they don't get...
Boom.
A lot of people have this thing where, and this is where I sort of disagree with, where it's like New World Order type of shit. It's like...
yeah, that's what I'm going.
That's where I was teasing the whole conspiracy thing.
Like, people...
It's like, what if they're sitting there laughing at us going, fuck, these guys are fucking losing their shit, losing their shit over a flu strain. You know what I mean? Like,
but what I'm trying to get at is, and this is where my conspiracy theory that conspiracy theory makes fun to me. Like, it's just hilarious. what do you expect of the government? Like, do they expect us to walk like in drones like this to Woolies and be like, one toilet paper, please, and then just keep fucking walking? Like, what? You think that before, like, 2019 it was? No, 2020 was a write-off. 2018, let's say 2018, when everything was fairy and happy daisy.
Take me back.
Do you think you had freedom then? That's it. Like, dead set freedom. Do you think, yeah, okay, you're allowed to go on a plane, you're allowed to do this. Okay, besides traveling, besides this wearing a mask and shit, what can you possibly not do? Tell me.
I could go to a club or a pub.
You can still go to a club and pub. What can't, in this country, what can't you do?
Not freaking vote on voting day. That's where your freaking freedom dies. Voting day, you have to vote. I don't give a fuck. You got to vote.
Well, look, that's what I'm trying to say. With COVID implemented, okay, I get Melbourne and their lockdown, okay, but that's because you guys are idiots. It's more, what can't you do? When you were out and about on the streets, you know, before even Melbourne went into their X day lockdown, how many days they caught, what can't you do? What freedom don't you have?
True.
I want to sit on every even and odd table at restaurants and not fucking miss one table.
In New South Wales, I've been to restaurants where they've got rid of those signs.
But most restaurants I go into still have them, and I don't want to look. It's become part of my subconscious now. I line up and I look for the sticker of where to stand.
Yeah, I do that at Woolies.
Nah, I don't. I don't stand on it just to be a nuisance.
But you know what I do?
Like, I stand close to the guy just to see, like, if this guy's gonna get pissed off and, you know, do something, like, just because I'm that bored.
I hate standing next to people because
I love standing next to people.
Breathe on me. It pisses me off.
I don't breathe on them. Like, I just stand uncomfortably close to them.
But like, even then, okay, say like the small things like what point, like, I get it when it came to the point where it's like, okay, you can't train outside, you can't go to the gym, you can't walk outside.
We
your
never
house.
had that really
we
bad
didn't have
in Sydney.
that. So even Melbourne beforehand, like before their lockdown, what can't you do?
Because you know what I want to ask, and this is a bit of a conspiracy thing, right? How come everybody who has it decides to travel the whole fucking country in one day? What is this? It's like, I feel sick, I'm going to drive everywhere today.
Like, it's like, when everyone's in lockdown, it's like, nah, man, you know, I really don't want to drive to here because it's far, and, you know, I want to stick to my local community.
Maybe they would.
They get this one guy going, you know what? I want to touch every fucking barbecue in New South Wales. And
Yeah, there's the whole barbecues galore thing, right? The one that the breakout in Barella, the guy went to like every pub or whatever. The guy who came from Melbourne, he flew all the way to the New South Wales South Coast and visited every fucking hotel on the way. Like, it just, I understand that there's a chance it could be coincidental. It just seems too far-fetched. Every time a case comes out, this guy visited 18 fucking places in one day.
Oh.
And to be fair to that guy, what barbecue were you fucking after, bro? Like, what couldn't you find in the eastern suburbs? You had to jump all the way to Casula for
My father would have went. My father, he's not a tight ass, but he knows that if he could save a few bucks, he'll go that extra distance.
But you burn the fuel to get there.
No. This was before internet, obviously, so you could just check prices through companies. But
times have
before,
changed.
Exactly, no. But back in the day, mate, I don't know. I'm just paying the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe the guy is not technologically savvy, and he's like, I'm gonna go check out all the barbecue stores in Sydney,
brother.
So they all come off the same catalog.
Okay, where you live, yeah. Okay. Would you say, you know what, I need a barbecue? I'm going to go to Hornsby. No, you're going to go to your local areas. How many barbecue places can there possibly be between where you live?
Was it a barbecue store? Was it?
Dude, he went to like 6 in the eastern suburbs
He
and
was
then ended up at
one
Casula somewhere.
Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. This guy does a road trip from Melbourne and goes to freaking every town on the south coast of New South Wales.
Would you guys say you guys are like? Because it sounds like you guys are starting to get frustrated because you're questioning what the media has reported to us. Does that make sense?
I don't question the media reporting to us. I'm more.
Like, I'm not saying you guys are being like frustrated or anything. I'm just saying, are we at the point of frustration where it's like now we're questioning what the actual facts are?
I'm not questioning the facts. I'm questioning
because I'm questioning it myself.
I'm questioning the
push.
push.
Obviously the push, but so like it's pretty convenient. Now take away those news companies, all those news outlets. Say we don't have news for a week. We just got social media. What people are reporting every day. You got people recording videos and stuff. Do you think that there'd be a difference in messages?
No, because most people get their news from the social media anyway.
Bro, my number one news source is Auburn 2144 on Snapchat.
Then
I know everything that's happening.
Lot.
I know all the car accidents. I know all the police. I know all the fights that are happening.
I like that's your news.
No, it used to be. Because it was, right? Everyone was saying all
Breaking
that.
news. Two men punch on Auburn Road.
But all the speed cameras, all the speed traps that are set up, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, a bit of, you know, mingling within society.
Doesn't Waze do that for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Waze does it. But it's just not as entertaining as Snapchat does.
Like,
know?
for me, what burns me, and this is what annoys me, but I understand that it's the law, okay? Where the states are in control of what they do in their state. Okay, so when it came to COVID, the federal government said, you know what, it's up to the state on how they run it. If Western Australia want to pretend they're a different country, they're more than welcome to. But when certain things aren't working out, say Victoria, for example, what are they, third lockdown, fourth lockdown, whatever it is. I think Scott Morrison should come out and say, hey, maybe I should intervene. Like, something's happening in the country that I'm running, and a lot of people are getting angry. So what are we going to do? We're going to give $500 a week to people who work over 20 hours a week. That'll cover the businesses that, you know, that make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week. You know, and those guys rely on that, and they still have to continue paying rent for those businesses and all that type of stuff. And
that's where.
Sorry, just give me 2 seconds.
No,
and then what burns me more is that payment is for Australian residents. So if you're an
imagine all the Nepalese, Indian students.
it's anyone that's
all
come
the
like
PRs.
Melbourne, like Chapel Street. Like Chapel Street's fucked. Like apparently it's dead. Like I know a person that recently went to Melbourne and came back, and he said, "Is Chapel Street or Road?"
Chapel Street.
Yeah, he goes, Chapel Street's finished.
Or Chapel Road.
He goes, there's a lot of places that just closed up, business shop. He goes, it's never. There is no way needed recovery. Those places that do, even the open coffee shops and stuff like that, they rely on people who aren't Australian residents.
Yeah.
You know, to run.
That's
now these guys are sitting there going, well, what do I do now? I can't fly back. I'm not getting paid. They're not open.
So those are the people I feel for the most, because
100%.
it's like, bro, they can't continue on their life because, you know, the government keeps going, all right, lockdown because 6 people got sick. We got to stop the country from moving, so we stop this spread. I don't know. Do you guys have heard of herd immunity, where they just let everyone get sick and eventually the weak ones,
like natural selection.
You pull the weak ones out and then the strong survive.
Yeah.
Just do that. Then we get over it. No vaccination. We don't have to argue about that anymore.
And no one has grandparents.
If you gotta go,
Dad, do you remember the time when there was grandparents?
There's no one over 50 years old.
I
don't know. So I'm talking shit, but
another.
It's getting frustrating, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It's getting frustrating.
We're not feeling it here, bro.
I'm not frustrated. I'm concerned for the people who are in line for mandatory vaccination, because then you're going to start making a major decision, which is, do I lose my job because I don't want it, or I got to take the vaccine? Now, the determination of frontline workers can be something massive.
Yeah.
Because hospital doctors, they're frontline.
Frontline, make it sound like they're soldiers going out to war, bro. Like, relax.
No, but what I'm trying to say,
that fucking annoys me. There's a
Real
sorry to
estate
cut you off.
agents.
You can compare it to Marvel.
There's a fucking mechanic who put up a banner saying, "We thank you for your service." It's like, all right, as if they did the job for free. Like, they went out and volunteered for this. We thank you. I'd understand, but they still got paid for it. I paid for it through my tax, for the tax I paid for. I know I'm being a bit of a douchebag, but still, like, good on you guys, honestly. Like, good job. Like, you guys, did your butt.
Who are you talking about?
To the nurses and doctors that supposedly fought the war on COVID. You know, they were guns blazing, going, pop, 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 pop. Oh, the COVID patients, we don't know what to do. We're fucking stressing out. Like, relax, all right? I know you guys had it tough.
Because you panic when you have to deliver so many parcels.
What do you mean?
Like, when you go, fuck, I had to do so much deliveries today. Because imagine them.
And they'll work in double shift, triple shift.
And you get to sign up.
But there was videos of people going to the hospitals and going, "Where's all the people that are sick?" Even I'm at the hospitals quite frequently in Sydney. Majority of them, it's like a standard day.
But you do know the COVID ward somewhere else, yeah?
What?
It's not like you won't go into the emergency and it's like COVID ward this way.
No. There's one in Cogra that I've delivered to about 5 times. One in RPA in Camperdown. And there was one more, the private hospital in Cogra.
How many cases do we have in New South Wales?
I asked them, I went in there, I'm like, look, I'm for small talk publisher news outlet. I just wanted to ask you, no, I'm joking. Bro, it doesn't look like it's, I don't know, man, it's just, I don't know, man, I'm just sick of
You know what
shit.
that falls down to?
Sick of hearing about
Do
it.
you believe do you believe the people who say they're under pressure, or do you believe the people who say that we're not under pressure? Do you know what I mean? Like,
there's surely the health system was already backed up before COVID kicked in anyways, bro.
That's right.
I remember my mum broke
yeah.
her arm. She was in pain. Her arm had snapped, and they made her wait for 8 hours.
Wow, bro, that's cute. I was
Yeah.
in a line for ICU and I spent 48 hours on a couch.
Thank you very much. Like, see, you're just giving me the example as to like these guys already have a tough job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they choose to do this job. No one. We don't live in a socialist country where the government said, "Look, you guys, you're this smart, so you're going to be a doctor, and that's all you're going to do for the rest of your fucking life." If you don't fucking like it, don't do it.
but they like their job
Exactly. Hence, why should I be fucking thanking them for?
because
No,
they're not
but
prepared for this.
There's a difference, bro. It's like me being
Well-
a teacher, but I hate certain things of the system. I think that there's stuff in the system that can improve
which
to make
system?
education better. The education system.
Oh, yeah, I completely
But
agree
like
too. 'Cause
these guys are
me
good
being-
doctors. They love their job, but the system fails them because why? The government, bro. Think about the government. Every time they do a budget cut, who does it go on? Health system and education. Every fucking time.
Hence my point. No, actually, this isn't a point, but this is where we, as a society, need to stand up. Like, I completely agree that our education, our health system is I won't say poorly run, but it's not run.
It's poorly run.
Would
It
you say that?
Fucking
Okay,
oath it
so
is.
it's poorly run. So what are we as a society prepared to do for it? I'm ready to go out and make noise
You know,
about
what
it.
you know what the government's going to
Let's
say
go
to you?
fucking riot then.
Yeah, but you know what the government's going to say to you? If you want better,
All right, doctors, if
if
you
you want better services, pay more tax.
Get private health.
Or private health. Even private health. Fuck
even
private health.
private health is bullshit.
Because the reason, my personal thing, and this might be conspiracy or whatever, interpret it however you like. The reason why budget cuts come to hospitals and the health system is because the government fucking wants you on private health because they don't want to be paying
they're
for your
manipulating.
medical bills.
Yeah. Bro,
And they need to look after their friends in the private health industry.
yeah, see, like, there's just so much bullshit.
Like I love reading the articles. We'll see them because come July, August, we'll start seeing the
rebate and everything.
the financial reports come
Yeah.
out
Oh,
when NIB comes in and says we only made 7 billion. We have to raise the rates because we're such fuckwits and we have to raise the rates.
Oh,
What's
on
your
everyone.
view on
25% increase.
What's your view?
I can't take
Annual
a
increase.
15 million increase here, guys. I just bought a yacht and I can't do that.
Hence, coming back to our original question in terms of what was that the one with the government, because it's plain and simple. We don't trust government and not companies. What's the
Media?
No, not media. The
Corporation?
corporations. We how many times has the government fucked people up, and then they found out about it afterwards, and on top of like collusion with corporations and government together, obviously profit being the main priority, whereas they neglect all the safety issues and other bullshit that comes with it. How many times has the public been burnt? And when we find out, like for instance, we're just apparently there's a police investigation finding out that there's a past prime minister that's been labelled as a pedophile.
I saw that, and we're hiding that. Yeah.
And they're for what reasons I don't know. They can't publish his name, but every other football player that's been jerked off
Straight
by a
out
girl
there.
or something is bang. They just mop him up in the fucking media.
100%
Bro,
agree
you know
with
what
that.
burns my soul the most? I sweated for days on end, hours and hours, to be taxed to help some fucking Chappelle Corby overseas because she got busted with drugs. Because does that not burn your soul?
Yeah, it
How
does.
many millions of dollars were pumped into that campaign over someone who got busted with drugs and then came back here and just jumped back on the drugs, didn't she?
Did
No,
she?
No, she didn't.
Oh no, her dad or her brother or someone got busted while she was over there.
She says she was innocent.
Bullshit, man.
Bullshit.
Bullshit,
We
man.
can only go off the evidence that's been presented. She says no.
Bro, how many Australians fly to Indonesia? It was every
7.
year.
But the
Seven.
thing I don't
How
understand
many-
is why she was
7
bringing
of them.
weed back from Indonesia. I don't
She's
know.
a dumb bitch, that's why.
I don't know.
Bro, how many people from Australia go to Indonesia every year? Bro, Bali is like a fucking... It's a tourist attraction
Because it's a
made of
death
Australians,
penalty,
right?
isn't it?
Yeah, and everyone knows there's death penalty.
'Cause- and
How
look
come
at
it
the
happens
drug
to no
rates
one
in-
else?
in
It just happens
Indonesia.
to this junky ass looking bitch. It just happens to her. And her family's got a history of fucking drug use. Her family's got a history of
But
fucking
then
drug
'cause, like,
trafficking.
yeah.
But it's like, oh, you can't use that as evidence because they're different cases. Oh, it coincidentally happened to someone like this.
Yeah.
Someone put it in her bag. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm Muslim now. I'm Muslim. Don't hang me." And then she stopped being Muslim. Yeah, she put the hijab on, pretending to be Muslim.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wasn't that for the Indonesian media though?
I thought we had
Of
it.
course she was.
I thought
But then we lost it.
We were about to send, the Turkish army in there to save a Muslim girl, but it was fake.
I can't remember her story for
But
life.
yeah, we don't have trust anymore. No one trusts you. Hence why you've got a fucking large portion of the public going, we don't want to get vaccines because we don't know what's in it. We don't know long-term health aspects.
Did we ever trust them though?
That's
I mean,
what
like, when you think
maybe
of like
before,
governments,
like in the past, yeah.
from like starting from Greek democracy, right? From like 4000 BC or whatever. Was there ever a time where people actually trusted? Because you always, that's the whole reason why we have 2 parties or 4 parties in some countries or whatever it is that the party you support, if they don't get in, you don't trust the other side automatically. How much trust did we ever have historically for the government? Let's go back to the GST era. One party says we're going to bring in GST. One says we don't. The one that says we don't gets elected. They bring in GST.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't there in the first place, but I mean, they do the same shit anyway, bro.
John Howard brought in GST.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was already elected.
Was he? Or whatever it was. But the other government, the other side was saying we won't, but they would have.
I was going through TikTok. This is Australian politics. I'm sure you guys all know who Gough Whitlam is.
Sick cunt. I love golf.
Apparently, one of the conspiracy theories, an American TikTok guy, he put up a video saying Gough Whitlam tried to ban the CIA or some kind of organization from setting up in Australia. I think might have been with working together with the Australian Federal Police, maybe or other. What do they call them? Fucking spy organizations or intelligence. The departments or agencies. And apparently, the CIA apparently helped kick Gough out of.
What's the evidence behind this?
That's what I didn't understand because I was like,
TikTok.
this is the first time I heard this. Yeah, that's what I mean.
TikTok.
Like, you could be like, oh, apparently Muhammad Ali died because he was trying to stop people from doing this in America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there's no evidence behind it, like, what are you saying?
But what was the original?
He probably does have an argument
Gough Whitlam? What was the main reason he got kicked out? It wasn't Medicare. It was it unions? No. What was the main reason he got kicked out again?
I am not too familiar with Whitlam's story.
Because that's a pretty big point in history in terms of Australian politics. I learnt that both in school and watching it through ABC documentaries.
It would make sense that the Americans do get involved, considering what they do in, say, 96% of Earth.
Yeah.
You know, they probably try to take over
They probably
water.
brought freedom to Australia by getting rid of Gough Whitlam.
Freedom! No, because they tried to do that in Venezuela. They stuffed up big time in Venezuela. I can't believe how a country so divided, they stuffed that up. Like it makes no like greatest country on earth. Fuck off.
Oh, that's right. He was trying to leave the not Federation, the Commonwealth. That's correct. He wanted to lead the Commonwealth. The guy's conspiracy theory, or actually, I don't know if it was fact or conspiracy theory. I'll take the benefit on that. But
what benefit do we have from staying in and not staying
hence
in?
why he got sacked because he wanted to get out of the Commonwealth.
Did you think that there's no benefit of us being in the Commonwealth?
No, I'm saying, what is it? Do we have a benefit staying in?
I think the
It's
closest
pretty
I
much
can
just
come to,
alliance, bro.
yeah, like if we
England.
get into a war, we got them to back us up.
Well, England.
Not just England. America's aligned, obviously, with England, blah, blah. So
But we're in line with America regardless.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. We're good. You know what I mean? Like,
Trying to-
bro,
Nah,
we
you
got
know-
those two big boys.
You know what? I have a prediction for this, okay? I reckon that if Australia went to war with China, I reckon at the drop of a fucking hat, America's
here.
gonna abandon us.
You reckon?
I reckon this.
Wow. Yeah, I could see it happening.
I reckon it's gonna happen
I could see it happening. Americans failing.
because America's gonna look at China and Russia, because China and Russia are good mates. They're like,
Not fucking around.
"What's up, cuz?" You know what I mean? They're gonna look at that and go, "Do I get involved in this shit, or do I
See ya.
start strengthening my own fucking borders and going, I gotta deal with this shit later?"
Dude, I don't got time for you.
Yeah. America will come in after a 4-year war when everyone's crumbled and be like, we're restoring peace now.
Yeah.
We'll take the
We're gonna
resources.
take the kangaroos.
But bro, we are pretty American government is pretty close to the Australian government. Bro, we went there to Iraq and Afghanistan. They used fucking forget.
But that's what I'm saying. We went there for Afghanistan. We went there for Iraq. We jumped in when needed help in Syria.
Australia
we needed help in. So we needed to assist them in Libya. We needed to do this. We needed to do that.
A friendship with
Australia
one of the boys
jumped
in the
into
area
Gallipoli and they just got stranded.
For how many fights, and then the one time you needed him, he wasn't there.
That's right. But even in Gallipoli, when they came into Gallipoli, they just got stranded on that beach, bro.
Yeah.
Like no support from nowhere.
I watched
nothing.
that Gallipoli show on Netflix. It's a Channel 10 show. Yeah, it was produced on Channel 10, I think. Bro, excellent. I think that it was very neutral in terms of explaining both sides of the story, but it also showed the truth. It wasn't like a propaganda based. You know how they have the Anzacs went over there to fight for our freedom. Yeah, dude. What? Like they went 20,000, 25,000 Ks all the way to the other side of the country. That didn't even know they existed. They didn't even know. Yeah. Turks didn't even know they fucking existed, and they're talking about saving our freedom. Wake up to yourselves, you fucking clowns.
Cuz have you watched the movies on Netflix at the moment? It's called Turkish Ice Cream. Have you seen it? Cuz it actually taught me something historically like I didn't know. Cuz it's about these two Turkish guys who are living in Australia. It's a true story. Two Turkish guys who are living in Australia when World War I breaks out. Watch it. It's on Netflix. It's really interesting. So, yeah, like they're sort of stuck here while Turkey's being, attacked by Australia. It's a really interesting story, bro.
Oh, wow. I will check it out.
I didn't know Turks were here that early on.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because it's 1914.
It would have been a handful, bro.
No, there would have only been a handful.
People.
So one of the uncles, one of the uncles that a family friend of ours was talking about how they probably came across with the Afghans, with the camel thing, because the Afghans would have been a part of the Ottoman Empire at the time. So that's probably how they came across through. But it was really interesting. I didn't know that there were Turks here so early on.
Yeah, but I don't think people realize how bad Gallipoli was in terms of the organization, the hierarchy, and how they fucked over all those soldiers.
Yeah, Australia was on the front line. They didn't even know what the hell
imagine it was conscription based army, so everyone that could fight had to go fight. It wasn't like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna sign up to the army because I choose to, not because and then there was a propaganda push of you got to be a patriot, you got to look after your country, you got to fight for our freedom, and yeah, a lot of people lost their life. I think that's sad. Like, and to for the government to hide it. Like, I'm gonna sound a little controversial, and probably people will be pissed off. But I think this is the truth that the government swept it under the rug and then said, "Oh, this is the Anzac spirit. This is what the diggers fought for. They fought forever." Like, different story would be Kokoda Track in
Papua New Guinea?
Is it Papua New Guinea? That's correct. So. That's a different story. There was an actual threat there. Japanese were actually coming and bombing the fucking place. Whereas the Turks, what were they doing? Didn't even know Australia existed. You know what I mean? And these guys, and then, like, it's just sad. It really is sad that these young boys, the amount of pride that they had, obviously, with fighting for their country, obviously the idea behind the reason why they were there, obviously to preserve a sense of freedom that they thought was thing, and then they got jacked.
It's such a young country as well. I want to ask you a conspiracy theory question again.
There you go.
Sorry, we're going deep in conspiracy today,
bro.
guys.
I'm enjoying this.
Now we look at today's society, or like more recent history, whether it's 9/11, where it's COVID, and we're like, what's the hidden agenda behind this, right? Imagine being in 1914 Australia, okay, and look how much the World War changed. I'm gonna hit one perspective, all right?
Yep.
The role of women in society.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the men went overseas to war. Women had to work. Do you think if you were at the time, you'd be thinking, this war is just a hidden agenda to get women in the workforce? No.
Oh.
I don't think so, because I feel like everything came to a stop.
Yeah, they pretty much started like manufacturing clothes, equipment, the guns, artillery. Like that was a whole industrial.
But did they not think if we send all our men, there's gonna be no one left to do this?
That's what happened in Europe. But apparently, I used to work with Macedonians, and they used to say, if you came, I don't think it was Macedonia, but like those Eastern European countries, if you came to them in like the early 2000s, he goes, bro, you would have women fighting over you, and I laughed. And then he was like, no, he goes, I'm genuine. He's like, I'm not joking. He goes, bro, he goes, bro, I took my wife to one of these countries. I'm not going to name it. He goes, the lady was literally flirting with me, like not like telling me I was good looking, I was handsome, and like where are you from and blah, like talking to me in front of my wife.
Doesn't that happen to you guys everywhere you go? That happens to me everywhere I go.
But obviously,
TK Maxx.
well, it doesn't happen to me that often, obviously. So I find that hard to believe. But yeah, which makes sense. He goes, bro, after the World War II, he goes, bro, imagine how many men lost their lives, millions. He goes, and then all these poor women got stuck and became
Was there
lesbians.
millions?
No, I'm joking.
Millions?
Yeah, millions. Cars, millions.
Didn't Turkey alone lose 40 million or something like that?
Yeah,
20
something
million?
sh-
What?
All right,
40 million?
Let's ask
14.
Uncle Google.
14? How many
Google on,
people
Joe.
died in World War
'Cause
II? That's a
'cause I'm-
ridiculous amount of people, bro.
'cause
Wow.
Because at Canberra, they have the war memorial, and they have that stone where it's like how
Alright,
many people lost.
How many?
I said 14 Turks.
What do you got? I mean,
Bro, I wouldn't have thought it's that high in the millions.
okay, so put down a number.
Worldwide?
The whole thing, World War II.
I only said Turks.
World War II, mind you, there was
World
other
War
wars.
II or World War One?
World War II.
Oh, World War Two.
Oh, I don't know, World War One. We can do.
Turks
World
aren't in World War Two. Yeah.
Well, sort of, but not in a major role.
No, like we didn't
Alright,
think
go.
about World War One.
What are we doing? World War One.
World War
We're
One?
talking about World War One.
How many million people we're talking?
Yeah.
Total, I'll probably say 40, 50.
Million?
Relax there.
Yeah.
mate.
Million?
I don't know. I'm checking.
20
Nah.
million. Google. You can only take that so much with 20 million, cause give or take.
20 million based on what? There's no records back then. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But
they're
I think
finding mass graves now in France and
because they
everything.
already had. Yeah, that too. I think it's obviously a estimate.
Yeah.
So like they probably went, all right, this guy, we had a general statistics, or they probably would have had an idea how much their population was in that era.
I don't think so, man.
You reckon? Because there was a government and everything.
Where are you gonna?
Because Kimliks in Turkey only came out
Yeah.
after the Republic was
All right,
formed.
we'll say Google says 20 million for World War
Google's
One.
a fucking liar.
World War Two, it says 75 million.
Yeah, makes sense.
They say 30 million of soldiers and 40 million of
Wow, that's a lot of...
Because that makes
People,
sense,
bro.
considering the fact that Hitler took over France.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, think about.
'Cause that's like
take that into consideration.
the biggest population in the world, or like
One of.
a highly populated area
Yeah.
of the world.
He literally went into Paris.
Yeah.
Like we.
Guys, can you imagine that
No,
right
no,
now?
I knew it would be like
Can you
high,
imagine
but-
Russia goes into Europe? What do you do? Russia goes, that's it. We've had enough of this fucking world. We're going. That's it.
Turkey
We're
would just
starting.
go along.
I know. Like they're gonna go past Turkey and be like, yeah, we don't fuck with you. We're gonna go up here.
They'd be like, remember that gas pipeline we made together?
Oh yeah, you still want that?
Look, when it came down to Hitler, for example, dude, he steamrolled France.
Can I?
France is let's be for real for a second, please. France is nothing. Like straight up, they are nothing. They don't have a military. They don't have the
Nah, they're
people to
pretty
fight for. Fuck
Right
them.
now?
Yeah, now.
Nah,
Fuck
because they're
them.
pretty high up in the.
Fuck them. Straight up. Which war have they ever entered and won properly since Napoleon dead?
True, that's true.
Never. They went into. They helped
Good
out
point.
Afghanistan once they realized America was sweet, England was sweet, Australia was sweet. They said, "Let's go down. Let's fucking do that thing there." That's them. There's a saying. I forgot who said this, man, but fuck, I wish I could find it. They said it was about Turks. They said if they go, Turkey could invade France and have lunch in Paris. They go, that's
sure
how
it
quick it would
No,
be.
they would invade in the morning and have lunch in Paris.
That's the one. Yeah. That's it. They're nothing. Literally nothing.
I like your confidence.
Fuck France.
I like. I love the confidence, but I don't think that's a realistic.
Because you think one-on-one. One-on-one.
With no
Turk-
cousins watching.
No cousins watching. You think Turkey, just Turkey alone, v France, that, bro.
Because the difference with that is Turkey has so many enemies.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Enemies.
One-on-one.
I got enemies. Got a lot of enemies.
One-on-one. We will make Turkish croissants in Paris.
Because
It's called
I
Simids.
watch a lot of
That's
those.
it.
I used to watch a lot of those top 10 armies in the world videos on
Oh,
YouTube.
the Olympics? Wow.
Not Olympics, but
Guys, have you
top
seen the
10
Special
armies.
Forces Olympics?
Yes,
Yeah, I've
Turkey
seen that,
fucking
yeah.
jacks everyone.
Oh, bro.
we do pretty well. That's what I'm gonna say. But
Because they shoot 5 bullets from a handgun from 200 yards in the same hole
no way. That's pretty good.
with a handgun.
No, there needs to be 1,000 bullets.
But I know in terms of commandos or special forces, we're up there.
We were number one for how many years?
Yeah,
in
I think
a
we
row?
were. Yeah,
We're number one.
In fact, Americans were coming to get training off us.
Because the American soldier, and I'm not talking this as like a flex or like to show off, but in the Special Forces Olympics, whatever the US was doing, the Turkish Special Forces, the Maroon Berets, were almost doubling. They were twice as good. The Maroon Berets are psychos, but
Turkey, we've got forced conscription.
Because do you know what the Maroon Berets are?
Yeah.
Because these guys are like, they have no mum and dad.
Yep.
Okay? And even if they have a mum and dad, if they are given the command to shoot their mum, they will do it.
They're on the eastern side.
Do you remember
That's
when?
where they
Do you remember when?
Yeah.
I think it was Syria when the Turkish forces were invading Syria, and it was a massive news on the thing.
Yeah.
I think it was Syria, and they're like, "Oh, you know, Turkish forces invade Syria, blah blah blah. They've done this." Bro, there was literally 12 Maroon Berets that were put into Syria.
Were they really?
Yeah, bro. It was like this
Seriously?
small amount of Maroon Berets that
Because
were
that's
put
how
in.
those little like special forces, like American government, obviously, like it seems cliche that I say this, but in movies we see it all the time. Special force team or Navy SEALs or fucking
Ryan
Green
Reynolds.
Berets or whatever. You know, they send in like this group of 5 people that have their special ability of like, you know, I'm the grenade guy and I'm blah blah blah, and they go dismantle the fucking whole government, and then they come out and, you know, one guy dies.
And it's like,
But from a realistic point of view, right? Let's talk geographically. What threat does America have geographically around them that they need to have such a special force? When you think of Turkey,
Canada.
bro, yeah, like the East gets fucked on the daily. Like what a lot of my mates don't understand. Like my boss is Lebanese and he didn't know this, and he has a lot of Turkish friends. I'm like, bro, do you know how many Turkish soldiers die every day? There's like a 20-minute segment on the news every day of how many soldiers have died just that day.
To put this into perspective,
Like we're constantly in war.
imagine walking around Auburn and there's soldiers with their fucking little half-tank fucking jeeps with that one massive ass cannon on there, driving around in like patrols.
Yeah, constantly.
Like, that's how grateful I am to be in this country. I'm not going to sit here and cry and say government's bullshit, blah, 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 obviously, because obviously the weak mindset we have here, because we've got a good, straight up.
Give me
We
the
have
jab.
good.
Give me the jab, bro.
But it's like, because Turkey, it's a different story, bro. I had to pay, I feel bad, shameful for saying this, because it's a pride thing in Turkey where it's like, if you've served your 18 months or 15 months, whatever it is, of military service, it's something to hold
You're a
high.
man.
Yeah. Oh, not so much, man, but it's you've done your part for your country. Whereas, bro, I spent I'm gonna justify myself here. Like, bro, I spent my life here. Obviously, I love my country. I mean, I have Turkish background, but I've lived in Australia my whole life. You know what I mean? I think I'm a diverse bloke. I have friends of many nationalities, and this doesn't mean like I'm being a fucking ass licker, you know, trying to show my support or anything. But it's like, I don't know what the fuck.
Bro, you're not giving military support, but you're doing financial support.
Yeah, I gave them financial support, which is what they wanted. They were like, bro, we don't need people. We want your fucking money.
Yeah,
I was like,
pretty
you know
much.
what? If that's the case, here you go, my friend. Have it. Enjoy. Which is good. I got out easy. My dad didn't. He did 18 months, like proper, not the holiday
We should
service.
have all done it together, bro. When
Cars
we were young. Should have all done it.
You have to do it
If,
when I was
bro,
single.
imagine.
We would have got bashed for our bad Turkish.
Yeah, my dad got, my father got literally pumped to learn Turkish, and his Turkish is immaculate. Excellent. Like, even though he's got a very Aussie accent, his Turkish is excellent. It's probably a little rusty now that he's lived in Australia for how many years, but back in the days, he couldn't speak a word of Turkish, and now he's like that. So it's obvious with the pain motivation of not getting bashed all the time, he learnt up pretty fast.
Well, what would you say to the, like, komutan, bro? Like, excuse my Turkish, but I was like, Emin Küçük, Sydney, Australia, Emret komutanım. Like, what do you say, cuz? Like,
I was born in Turkey, so I just was like, Eskişehir, something in my head. So I don't know, bro. What the fuck do you say? So anyway.
Fatih Çal, Liverpool.
Liverpool, Sydney, Australia.
Stick to that.
It would have been fun, bro. Like, some of the boys that have went and come back, they say it was like they went to the holiday version where they paid the money and they did like 2
3
months.
weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. He goes, bro, like, we fired guns, we got out, had a shower and went to bed, you know what I mean? It was like, I was like, bro, that's nothing. That's like you had a fucking, you know, a government
It's
fucking,
a resort.
yeah. But, yeah, I don't know.
We wrapping up. This is a long episode, man.
It was a good episode. I think it was good. I didn't get enough out. I could speak for another 2-3 hours, but
How long have we been
I'm
talking
gonna have to
for?
let you guys go.
1 hour 30.
1 hour 30.
An hour
enough for
30.
us.
Only
It's
that.
got to be a better way.
Gotta be a better way. All right, gents, it was very nice catching up with you guys.
Yes, it was.
We love
You know.
Australia.
Yeah.
I,
Australia.
number one Aussie. Good day.
I
kangaroo,
love this
koala.
country. I'm very thankful for
You know-
these things. I live here.
It reminds me of what movie was
Shrimp
that?
on Barbie.
Sacha Baron Cohen movie, The Dictator.
Yeah.
America is number one. I love that. Just on a final note, where are we? Champions of Europe. Where are we? There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, Turkey's
congratulations.
playing. When's
Oh,
Turkey
yeah,
starting
that's all right.
Euros?
Turkey's Euros is next Saturday, 5
Oh,
a.m.
we might
So
have
we
a
will
Zoom.
talk- we
Are we
will
doing
talk
the
about
Zoom
that
thingy?
We'll talk about that on Friday.
On Friday.
All right,
We'll fit
done.
in the podcast before that, actually.
Done.
So we'll next week then we might as well.
Right,
just
if we
put
win
our-
the first game, I'm gonna go for a drive to
preview for
Auburn.
Turkey versus Italy. How about that?
First game. And we can do the first matchups.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
actually,
the
I'll do a bit of
yeah,
research.
yeah.
I know Turkey's won their friendlies, or we conceded 1 goal only.
One
Yeah,
goal in,
we-
but we versus shit teams.
We're versus very poor teams.
Let's be
yeah.
real there. We versus
No
shit teams.
disrespect, but poor
like
teams
it.
like not very.
I like the
football
confidence.
oriented.
What
Cuz.
worked in our favour?
Who scored this morning? Burak Yilmaz and Cengiz Ünder, I
I
think.
think so, yeah. What worked in our favour was France demolished Wales, and Wales is in our group, so
Yeah,
That
now
worked.
Wales gonna want to come and fuck us.
that's why we don't verse Wales first up.
We got Italy,
If we beat-
Italy.
it's gonna be everyone's two heavily defense teams. They're just gonna leave the ball in the middle, and they're gonna go and they're just gonna block their goals like this the whole game. But we'll talk about that next week. Gents, nice catching up.
Good night,
See yous.
and see you next week.